Okay, this is Rex Rush again, instructor from 100 High School, and this is part 2 of the Impeller tutorial. So now that we have our impeller created and we can see that we have everything that we want, it fits on the shaft nicely, and let's say we want to make some updates, improvements, and or maybe some changes. So if I want to change my impeller blade number, all I have to do is go over here to this left command area over here, the command box where it says model, and I'm going to double click on circular pattern. If I want to change that to more or less impellers, if you feel that you need to find another way, or if it's more efficient or less efficient, and you want to try more impellers or less impeller blades, all you have to do is click on this here and type in the number of impellers you want, 3, 6, or 36, or 8, whatever you prefer, and then hit OK. And then the program itself automatically changes that for you. So now I'm going to go back to my original 6 impellers, and I'm going to hit OK. So now what I want to do, I want to add either a face to this to see if enclosed on one side will help this have more water flow, or if I want to enclose both sides. So what I've done before I've done any changes to this, I've already saved my drawing. So we're just going to make sure we're going to do that again. So you can go up here, go to File, Save As, and you want to save your part as under your name or anything you want. So I'm going to put on here Rush Impeller 6 open curved, and that tells me that's my file that I'm going to keep. And so now, whatever I do to this file now, no matter what, I can always go back, close it out, and not worry about messing it up. So I want to put maybe just an enclosure on this back side here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start a new 2D sketch. I'm going to click on this back side here. Now, looking at this, we have a sketch mode. So now what I want to do, I'm going to go back to my circle command, click on where it snaps to green, and I'm going to click up here to where it snaps to this actual arc at the top here. See how it turns black? That means it is fully constrained. So I'm going to click on that there, and now I have a green circle. I'm going to right click, hit OK. I'm going to dimension this to make sure it's still 15/16 of an inch, which it is, 0.938, 0.9375. I'm going to click OK. So now I'm going to right click OK, right click again, and hit Finish 2D Sketch. Now we know that our impeller cannot be any thicker than 3/8 of an inch, which means the depth from this point to this point can't be any more than 3/8 of an inch. So when I go to extrude this, I'm going to go back up to my extrude command, and notice it automatically goes to 1 inch. Well, I want this to be 1/16 of an inch, so I'm going to type in 1 divided by 16. Now you notice it is extruding out from the impeller, which is going to make my impeller too wide. So now I'm going to switch directions where it says direction 2, and it's going in to the actual impeller itself. Now you want to be careful because when you change directions, it automatically brings you to the cut command. So we want to go back to a join command, and when I do that, it shoves the actual 1/16 of an inch enclosure on the back side down into the impeller, so now we're not losing or adding any depth to our impeller. So once I do that, I'm going to hit OK, and now I have the back enclosed on my impeller. But now I don't have my shaft hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start another sketch. Anytime you want to add or take away from your drawings, you always want to add a new sketch. So I'm going to add a new 2D sketch, click this face here, and it automatically brings up my piece. So now what I want to do is I'm going to use a little command called project geometry, when you project geometry, it brings the geometry that you already have drawn from any face to where you can see it so you can use it to snap to. And then when you click on it, it turns yellow. So I'm going to right click OK. Now I'm going to go back to my circle command. I'm going to click on the center point here, and I'm going to go back out to that yellow little circle here. And if you notice, it says it's already 0.10 inches, which is the center of our shaft, which that's what we want. So we're going to left click again, and there it is. When it turns purple, that means it's fully constrained and fully dimensioned. If I were to try to dimension this and click on the dimension and see where it says 0.1, it's going to come up with an error here that says adding this dimension will over-constrain the sketch. So we don't want to do that. We already know it's 0.10 inches, so we're good. So we're going to hit cancel. Now that we have this hole here, we're going to right click, OK, right click, finish 2D sketch, and now we have a hole here, or a circle. So now we're going to hit extrude. We need to cut this away, so we're going to go to our cut command, and we know it's a 1/16 of an inch, but just to be on the safe side, we're going to go distance, and we're going to go all. That just ensures us that it's going to go through the whole piece here and still have our 0.1 inches of hole so we can fit it on the shaft of the motor. We're going to hit OK, and then we're going to hit our orbit command here so we can rotate around and look at it, and we have our hole back into where our impeller is, and now we're good to go. So this could be another impeller that you can use for your project to see if that will give you a better efficiency or more flow. Now, we're going to save this here because let's say we want to update and put two sides on it, make it totally enclosed. So we're going to save this here, and we're going to put there Rush Impeller 6 open curved. We're going to put that as semi-curved. And then we're going to hit save. All right, so now the drawing is saved, the part is saved, there's nothing else to worry about, we're good to go if we make any changes. But now I still want to enclose this whole thing because I've done some research and maybe it's going to make it more efficient if we close the whole thing, maybe it won't. So I think it might, so that's up to you to decide, but we're going to go ahead and put a full enclosure on this. So we're going to go back to start a 2D sketch. We're going to click on one of these faces here, and now we're going to project geometry yet again. We're going to click on the outside of one of these circle faces here till it turns yellow. That's just so whenever we draw our next circle to enclose this part, we can click here and see how it turns black. And when it turns black, that means it is fully constrained. And I'm going to dimension this, and it's going to come out to 0.469, which we're not going to pay attention to that because we know it's fully fully constrained. So if we rotate this around, we can see that it is exactly the same size as the big circle. All right, so now what we can do in this sketch mode, we can go ahead and project geometry here so that we won't have to make another commands for this hole to come through. So we're going to project geometry, and we're going to click on this here. So now this is yellow, and we have two circles in here. So we're going to right click, OK, right click, finish 2D sketch. And now I'm going to go back to my extrude command, and I'm going to click on this outside part here. All right, now notice it says 1 inch. We want it to be 1/16 of an inch. We're going to type in 1 divided by 16. And we want to change the direction because we can't add to the depth of our impeller because we have to have it exactly at 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to change the direction back into it. Once again, it has defaulted to the cut command. So we need to go back and do the join command. And then we can rotate around and look at it. We can see that we have enough space for water to go through inside here at this point. And it's fully enclosed. So I'm going to hit off the orbit command, I'm going to hit OK. And now our impeller is fully enclosed, and that can be another option you can use for your project. So go back to home. There's our impeller, and it is fully enclosed. So we're going to go to File, Save As, and it is impeller semi-curved, and it's going to be, we're going to change it and make it to fully enclosed, or just put closed. So we're going to put Rush Impeller 6 closed. That way we know our impeller blades are closed. And there we have it. So now, to export this so we can 3D print this, we need to go to File, Export to CAD format. And what this does, this is going to make, and we need to change this down here to a .stl file. So no matter what kind of 3D printer you have, you can use that to put it on the platform. All 3D printers on the platforms use .stl files. So we're going to save this as a .stl file in the same folder we saved our other ones. As you can see, I've exported several other ones here. So we have Rush Impeller 6 closed, .stl, and we're going to hit save. So now when I need to bring this certain impeller here back out to take it to a platform to 3D print, it'll be there for me, and we can print it out and test it. Once again, thanks for watching, and I hope it works out well for you.